From here all the way to that mountain over there. I applied to every single job, including McDonald's, this winter, while I was in the back of my car in an igloo frozen at a park and ride, and the tow company just dumped the car halfway, so I'm sticking out and people are almost hitting me in their seasonal depression. And it's a place where heroin addicts are overdosing every single day, so I'm sitting there like in my head trying to cultivate good energy so I can make songs in my head and make good decisions and drive myself forward and say the right thing to people when I finally figure out how to ask for help, because I feel like I'm being killed. Like I feel like I'm being systematically, psychologically destroyed because I feel isolated, and everywhere I go it's like it's so much pushback, and I'm just fighting to make it happen, and I'm trying to be humble and nice and just talk normally, but these guys seem to be so stuck in addicted depression or just something that seems almost like the devil, where I'm just walking through life and everywhere I go it's just overly dramatic bullshit all the time that seems like it's trying to drive my good emotions away from me in power. Like I feel good emotions from hard work and achievement, and I learn how to cultivate it and just maintain with discipline a good, like I'm not crying right now. I could be crying, right? But I'm in a good mood, and I know if I'm in a bad mood to do push-ups. So I'm making an effort. And they just, every step of the way, they're trying to kill that. It doesn't matter the person or the body. They're just trying to destroy that. It's gonna rain. So I'm in this park and right in the back seat. There was a girl that I would see when I scroll on Facebook that I kind of held as like, I don't know the movie where the guy idolizes this girl that has no idea who he is. Kind of like a sick, almost Christian Bale type thing. Not where I'm like staring at her page and like, I'm gonna get you one day. But like in my mind, I was like, I can't wait. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna keep going because eventually I'm gonna be buff and I'm gonna have money and the music is gonna work out and I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna invest that in cryptocurrency, and then I'm gonna buy a plot of land so I never have to worry about being on somebody else's property, and then I'm gonna travel, and then I'm gonna get solar panels on the property, and I'm gonna get dogs that I can register and breed, like rare dogs. And then once I have that system going, then I can start focusing on buying a little bit of more land and building systems for people to get their outlet out, because my whole thing is that I have this amazing body of work that I'm so proud of, but I could never find a place to get it from my mind outward. So I'm trying to build a place where I could make that happen for other people, like a cheap studio that has all the things it needs for people to get through and do it. A safe place for people like me. So I'm thinking about all this, and the thing that's keeping me going is this girl that I would feel worthy enough to be able to ask to hang out on a boat with. When I finally have a boat, then she can come on the boat and we can both make songs together. Making love out by the lake to our favorite song. No. So I never hit her up, but she hits me up at my worst time in my life. Well, not my worst time in my life. A horrible time. The only reason it's the worst time of my life is because I see how amazing it could be, but I'm trapped. Like if I was feeling extremely depressed and just it was a bad time, I would say, I wouldn't say anything. But because I could see the meaning of my decisions and that there was something amazing I could get, like it felt important to make the right decision then, and I could see it so beautifully. It's like I went to hit her up. Someone died next to me, in the car next to me. I'm feeling that. It feels like the reality's blurring, the devil and everything, and I'm getting videos on YouTube about like just that other people experiencing what I'm experiencing. So I'm grateful that I'm not schizophrenic, but I fuck it up with her. The guy that tries to kill me, his uncle, or the guy that tried to kill me with the baton a couple weeks before. His uncle has actually killed people, and he's a neo-Nazi. They're on a biker gang. They've killed police before. Now the police work with them, and they bring the drugs in here. So I'm actually a threat to everyone in this small town, just because I found myself a part of it and I figured it out. So it's like the police are swerving at me, really negative, the same like negativity, like they just can't see what I've found from years of overcoming that depression. They're like further down. I've heard people talk about the 3D to 5D split. It just seems like I'm the only 5D guy here. And it was a lot worse, a lot more violent, and the people were aggressive. Like one woman, I didn't have my hatchet, and someone at the place right down the road called the police and said I threatened to kill her with a hatchet. And I didn't even have it on me. It was just, they know the story. I pierced some guy's lung with a hatchet. They don't care that he started it and that he was on meth and I wasn't. I don't do drugs. I'm just the foreigner that hurt somebody. They know. So they called the police and told them I was gonna kill her with the hatchet. So they showed up, guns ready. And the only reason I got out of it is because I called the precinct of the last city that I lived in Vermont. They're still the same state police. So I called the police I know. I don't know if they outranked them or what, but they can't. They found, like, it was like 2 days, and then the one black officer in the state police showed up and gave me a beer and told me that he's sorry about the prejudice that I'm experiencing, and he could see it. And then he went down to call that woman on her bullshit for lying to have me almost killed. And she obviously got no repercussions. But that's what I'm dealing with. Eventually, it got so bad with drug addicts and drug dealers and just people swerving at my car, throwing trash, screaming at me, spitting at my window, spitting at me. I'm dealing with people dying, and I'm whether I'm an empath or not, it really feels like they're trying to steal the light from me, my hopes and dreams. Like, the closer I get to feeling hopes and dreams, I'm suddenly flocked with people that want to stick themselves with needles until they die, right around me. So eventually I lost the girl. Like, I said the wrong things trying to talk to her online. I like made myself seem like a bitch because I said, yo, I'm sorry, my life has been really hard lately. You made it better. I'm glad that you hit me up. So thank you. My life has been pretty hard. I'm glad that you messaged me. And that's all I said. She was like, okay, you're welcome. And then she went to a rave and probably fucked a drug dealer, whatever they do at raves, right? So it is what it is. I eventually walked as far into, like, I had to escape. It was too much, so I walked into these woods. About a mile into these woods, there's a cabin. There's just an abandoned cabin. So I got a rake and a shovel, and I started raking my own pathways. I started clearing out the inside. I found a bird's nest and I put it in, and a robin moved in, and we named him Vivek Robin Swami. I started recording myself every day on YouTube, just telling people my story. I had a lot of very spiritual experiences being out there by myself in the woods alone. I had a lot of weird experiences. I had never been that deep in the woods before. The last time I lived in the woods, there was a skate park at the, like, 20 feet away, and I was right on the lake. So everyone called me the lake monster. They called me Champ. So I'm in there. I probably have Lyme disease. I've been very sick. I've been picking ticks off me. So I definitely have Lyme disease. Or at least I'm getting used to the natural bacteria again. I have all these songs and albums ready to be made. I just don't know how I'm gonna get there. I know that technology is booming right now. Artificial intelligence is almost, like, people are worried it's out of control. Terrence Howard went on the Joe Rogan interview and said that he just redesigned flight and that the Freemasons that run the schools were lying. Like, isn't that a common theme we're all seeing, is that Freemasons are lying about reality? But that just came out on one of the biggest platforms ever. So, I mean, I wanted a boat. I wanted a motorcycle. I wanted to go through my hometown with a studio and enliven all the amazingly talented artists that have fallen into this dark depression that I saw here, that I've only escaped because of my isolation and traveling. So I wanted to go back with the motorcycle, pick up the pretty girl, ride, pick them all, brighten their day, enliven them, get down into the local boat launch at the lake, put a projector movie on, have my RV in the back, make music with my hometown friends, which happen to be the best artists I've seen in my travels. Every artist I've met that I hold to the highest regard in terms of just their art alone, I happen to have grown up with or found in my travels. And all I wanted to do was get the means necessary to make that happen. That's my motto. If my soul had a slogan, it would be make it happen. It would be the best art is one you have to care about to understand. So I want to drop a GoFundMe that's just help Casey. And I guess like a tier list of goals of things that I could do with this amount of money. And my Cash App. It's just starting off with simple things I need, like I don't have shoes. Shoes and clothes from a thrift store. I prayed for a motorcycle and I got a bike that says work. The only thing it says on this bike is work. So I'd want a means to get to work. I haven't found work here. This place has offered to give me a job months ago, because I've been here for months. They never got back to me, and then I called them a month later and they said, we decided that this is their words. At this place right here. They said, we decided that you have such a powerful creative light that selling yourself to be employed to a corporation might ruin that, and we'd rather see you ostracized and forced to go be homeless on a beach with a guitar and make a life that none of us have or will ever have, something close to that, than to see you lose it all and be stuck here. It was like Get Out. It was like in the movies where the guy where the one side character sacrifices himself so that the main character, the protagonist, doesn't get enslaved. That was the vibe. So something here must be so awful, and the world has gotten to such a spiritual place that they wouldn't let me work, even though like this place sews medical equipment, and I want to make merch. Look at this shirt. Can you imagine if I had my brand name right here with the red, green, and gold, and I had like roots of a tree embroidered, or like the way old kings had their designs, like the lions here, and like the floral print to make it feel like royalty. That nice, intricate, complex design, and like the old furniture and carpets on there, so that when you walk around, it feels like you're emanated. You have this solidified royal grace. And then I have albums that you listen to that enliven your spirit and make you want to move, because I understand frequency from being so disassociated from the brain injury. And I start to throw events to bring these people out of depression, and we literally just bring them up out of their mind state with the right frequencies and the right personalities. The only people that are doing it right now are drug addicts and people that are assigned to labels that actively promote occult ritual, like Kabbalion ritual, like the Bohemian Grove, like the people that go on stage and they do the devil symbols. Like, why would they do that? And the kid goes in there, and then he gets the. If you look up the Illuminati, you got to do this. He did that. North Ave Jax did that, bro. He's in there, and they believe that they're ritualistically converting energy. That's my competition right now. I'm on top of a mountain, at the bottom of the mountain, all the way over there. They're throwing shows for an organization that gives them millions of dollars to be able to harvest the sexual energy of children. I swear to God, I read the books. That's what they believe. So it's me on this mountain with all these songs in my head, and I'm seeing that all the way over there, and I have no idea how to get there, and every single person is just this cartoony, weird evil, and my mind is so broken I can't make sense of it. But obviously I can't be that far out because of how articulate I can be about it, right? So I make YouTube videos, and I have a mother of 4 who has like 3 dogs and 40 cats, and the father owns a landscaping company, and they know that I'm fighting the good fight. They see how I'm getting up every day and I'm preaching this stuff, and I'm usually giving solutions about how to fast and heal your mind and how to recall your memories before the traumatic event, and how using a foundational understanding of quantum physics has helped me structure my mind back together, and how the elements of the earth and like doing things with astrology has actually taught me more about life than therapy has. Like I learned more about how to function in life from raking and from feeling the different energies of the days with my own body, and resting and eating and doing push-ups, and then building my identity off achievement than I did having some fat 40-year-old woman with the crystal around her neck tell me I need to learn to hug myself, right? And I've helped many children. Like, as I'm traveling through, I meet tons and tons of people, and I usually have a simple solution that they don't, and I feel like it's my privilege to be able to guide them or teach them that thing so that enlightens their brain, and then they go off and do something great. And I'm often met with like people that went on to become managers, or have become famous, or have become like got the girl that they wanted even though they're ugly. They have a very beautiful girlfriend now because of the time, and they thank me for the time that they don't outright thank me because they're still bitter and jealous, which I guess is part of the system, the biblical system that they talk about. It's that I have these because I don't have that stuff, and they have that stuff, so even though I evolved them, they still have that stuff. But for whatever reason, I helped a lot of people at the worst part of my life, and I only feel alive, and I feel like I'm doing something when I have a means to be able to go do the most, where I'm not trapped, and I have a way to escape, to feel and cultivate. So I have tons of stuff I can do, tons of stuff I want to do, tons of stuff I feel I can make happen for the betterment of everybody. And that's all I think. Like, every thought that goes through my mind that isn't eat, sleep, try to get laid. Every thought or sometimes I get mad and want to hurt people that have hurt me in the past. Every thought other than that is how to make things happen so that the most people get the best outcome. Like a tree with roots. Like, it comes through the leaves and then it spreads out to the other trees when they need it. That's all I want to do. I had an album called Green Mountain Twilight, and it's like Afro beats and acoustic guitars, but it's solemn. It's like the nighttime right after the sun goes down when you're laying by the lake. That feeling that you would get during Gemini into Cancer season, which is in a couple weeks. And I wanted to go make that by being on a boat and having an RV. And I have a boat, I have an RV, I just don't have the money to get that. Like, I have a yacht and a nice RV that are both, altogether would be $11,500 for both of them. That's what they're asking. But I think that they would, like, if I could show them that I have consistent income, they might let me take them both out for the summer, and then I can enjoy myself. Or at the very least, I have somebody that's willing to give me an SUV, provided I can get down across this mountain range, over the mountain range, and then another 150 miles. Which I would, if he's serious and he hits me up about it, I will hitchhike. I will get my backpack and walk through. But I have Lyme's disease, I think. Like, I'm getting cold. Usually my whole pride and joy is that I can emanate heat from my cells by radiating and vibrating, and I'm able to craft an aura that keeps me warm using my own electricity in my body that I learned from being disassociated, living outside, out of my mind, trying to figure out how to avoid the cold because I was freezing to death. But since I had a tick bite and I picked off the fat tick in my back, I felt weak and lifeless for weeks. But maybe it's just I don't have a sense of comfort because of all the trauma that I've endured the past few months. But I mean, my childhood hero, I just called him and he answered, and he said for $5,000, this is a guy who's trained like hundreds of thousands of men, social skills and these spirituality skills he took from making millions and millions of dollars at 20 by just going and living with multimillionaires in Los Angeles, and they threw the biggest Beverly Hills parties, and he devoted his life to being a self-help guru, and he's good at it. And I called him and he answered, and he said for $5,000 he'd take me under his wing, so I would learn how to lead seminars where it's me and it's hundreds to thousands of people, and I could teach them skills, like make them come out of their shell. And then I have songs, and I have this idea, if I had money, to live stream my whole life traveling and go to like the rainbow gatherings and travel with the nomads and show people across the world how to do it with like solar panels and portable showers and horses, how to like take care of horses and nomads so that you never need any type of government assistance ever again, and you could live off the land happily, disciplined, and not get sick like with the Lyme's disease. Now that I know how to prevent it and I know what it feels like. I don't know if I have it, but I'm definitely sick. Or at the very least, I can go back to my hometown and enjoy the last days by the lake that I grew up with before rich people paid police to brutally attack my father and give him brain damage and PTSD while ripping me out of the car and making me watch that he relives to this day. Every 6 months he calls me and he's screaming to 7-year-old Casey that get away from them, run, before they beat the fuck out of him. And then he was so incompetent afterwards he lost his job as the best ski instructor in the state of Vermont, Gary the Legend O'Brien. And then they took our land, and then the next place my dad, like a rich friend he had on the mountain, let him stay at his place, and then we lost that place. And then one of my dad's friends killed himself, and he gave us everything. And then within a week, a Jewish man from New Jersey or Brooklyn or wherever they're at in that area showed up and found a loophole in the note and took millions of dollars from us after we had nothing that we just got one day. And now I'm watching them do it across the state of Vermont. They're like picking and choosing people, finding this loophole and then stealing our land from us. So I wanted to get means to make money, like a gym in the small. There's no gym here. There's no gym for 50 miles. Actually, there's no gym for 30 miles. And the gym that is here is small. So being able to put a gym here, like a small gym membership with like an ATV trail that you have to pay to use with ATVs, getting like nice breeds of dogs, like rare dog breeds that people around here want, but there's no kennel for them, like there's no place for them. If there is owner, it's all word of mouth. Whereas in California, you can kind of get everything you want. Like any type of dog you want, you can get in California, but there's nothing out here in the mountains. So I could get 2 of those dogs and start breeding dogs. And I know, like, I've been outside long enough taking care of myself, homesteading, and I took care of people on drugs. I took care, like, protecting people, like protecting children from drug addicts while I'm making music and performing on stage. I also, like, during COVID, even though I was so out of my mind, there were tons of people that were in a worse place, like freaking out, that needed a place to escape because their mind was just going crazy. So I would let them stay at my Section 8 apartment. While I'm out of my mind and feeling all this horrible stuff, I was still able to create a positive environment for what happened to be like 100 people that would come in consistently a week, that I would just meet wandering around, that were in a worse place than me, that were my age. And I had a nice girlfriend at the time that, even though I couldn't speak or think, there was like this second level of disciplined that I could get it done. So I know confidently I could take care of tons of dogs, have hummingbird feeders, have land, be able to protect the land and save the money, be able to pay for mentorships to get skills and teach skills to many, many people. Like the skills I would learn from the mentorship with this guy for $5K, this guy that has invaluable, priceless information that he teaches to billionaires, because the billionaires also suffer from the same mental health illnesses everybody else does. He's just found this specific common denominator that works, that I learned at 13. I might not be able to articulate it the same spiritually because I have a lot more trauma than this guy does. This guy's trauma is like a girl called him ew consistently for 10 years when he'd go out gaming with his buddies. My trauma is like I was held down by police and they shoved their fucking shit in my face and they tased me and they pepper sprayed me twice and left me in there for days without giving me food, and I had to wash my eyes with my own spit because my mom lied, because she said that higher dimensional beings told her to sacrifice ritualistically my high spiritual energy because I was about to release my hit single. So she lied to the police so that they would show up, and then they lied to protect themselves by telling the news I was violent and aggressive and should be avoided because they knew that I had this issue. I had this, like, something going on. I never got violent. The body cam footage, I was extremely calm. I was like, what are you doing? They, like, grabbed me and then I put my hands up like, what are you doing? Look at yourselves. And then they pepper sprayed me, tased me, and did all that shit, put me in jail, and they were so happy about it. They were so happy about it, rubbing it in my face. And it took 3 years for me talking to the judge and writing him letters and then stunning on him and making him feel bad that the judge was... I'd go in and the judge would come in and sit at the desk like... with hollow, dark eyes. Because I'm a very literate troll now. I have a lot of... like, if anybody asks, I will copy and paste the letters I send to the judge. But that made a significant change in Vermont, I think. At least in that, the perception of people's minds after meeting me. Because I'm this rampaging force trying to figure out how to save everybody. Solving issues. And I feel like I emanate... in my element, I feel like I emanate and radiate this high vibrational energy that makes people so offended that they attack me. Like even today, I ordered... with it, someone gave me $10 on YouTube to get something to eat. I waited as long as I could, doing 100 push-ups every day, 100 to 200 push-ups every day, raking out there, fasting, drinking from the stream. I waited until I was just starting to get into that delusional space where I'm out of it. And then I bought some McDonald's and I celebrated with some cookies. And I came in happy, and they threw out my cookies. Didn't say anything to anybody. I just walked in like feeling good. So then I had to ride my bike up this mountain again. Found out my cookies were gone. Ride back down. And they gave me even more shit. They're just so negative and in my face. Trying to check me. I'm certain it's like the average culture of the world has gotten so competitive and disgusting, like they talk about in Revelations, that it's probably to validate some spiritual thing in their mind. I'm coming in with this independent happiness as the sun opens up, and they're trying to harvest that or steal that. And then I get a notification on my phone that says, sorry, I'm just talking about my experience, not my personal beliefs. I'll get a notification for a tarot reading for a Sagittarius 33. It says like, oh, all these people, all these enemies everywhere you go, you're running into the same characters, but they're all going to get punished in front of you because you've suffered enough and it's time you were able to fully claim your inheritance, but you need to learn how to be vulnerable and ask for help. So that's where I'm at. Swear to God. This is where I'm at. Where it's just me saying it. I have huge dreams. The Robin has showed up, my Robin friend that lives with me. Unless it's a different Robin, but I doubt it. Vivek. It's hard to tell, but this is a small Robin and Vivek is small. There's most of the Robins around here are pretty big, but there's I thought Vivek was the smallest, but this is just as small as he is. I don't know. Either way, I could do so much if I just got fed enough money and let me loose, and I'm smart enough to be able to take care and cultivate the money. I've made enough mistakes in life that I've learned from, that I understand how to save and spend it wisely and not make rash decisions. I'm humble enough that I'm not going to use it on the wrong things. I care about people enough that I prioritize helping everyone. I just want to get buff, get a nice dog, get a car, and then slowly stack up ways to get skills, get trainings, find places in the woods, inspire others, get them out of their depression and situations, put them on the path towards creating their magnum opus and their best work, start pumping out content from an independent record label where the whole thing's out of pocket and we travel without any exposure from the industry and what could be the literal devil, whatever Satanist agenda they're talking about, in this small isolated town. Start putting us towards homesteading and independent living with solar panels. Eventually I want to start planting more, like just spamming areas like this with raspberry plants, stuff like that, like fill the whole space with edible food and berries. Eventually, if the humidity gets, like if global warming's still here, why don't we plant orange trees? Why don't we fill New England with like the trees that we couldn't have before with the climate? Wouldn't that be cool if it gets hot enough? Like California, like every summer we're at 100 degrees now. I don't see why we can't drop an orange tree. Start working on solar panels. Start building more dams. Start making my own clothing company, which I have tons of designs for that I'm really proud of. I have over 600 songs of ones I'm proud of. Definitely for this year I have 4 albums, and then for my life story, like my magnum opus that at least at the time, I feel like there's something better on the horizon, maybe, or maybe I'm just supposed to add those two together as I'm learning about life. But I have something that makes me so proud of, and it's a representation of my life in an animated TV show where I have the albums and the music videos for those albums that incorporate all of the artists from Vermont that won't get the spotlight because their lives have gotten so hard that even though they're insanely gifted and everything that they put out is exponentially greater than anything that's ever come out of these stupid kids that sign themselves to the Jewish pedophiles. That the state of drug addicts and uncultured, white bread, sissy kids do their snus, worship, because it validates them running around angry with a gun attacking each other, when life should be about the best thing that you can create. And if you have a problem, you get in the boxing ring. So I'd put boxing rings around. My best thing, my name is Casey, it means Kehasa. It comes from the African acacia tree that is in Freemasonry symbolizes the evolution of the human spirit to the highest form of ancient everlasting love that's been around and will always be around. That's what Casey means. It also means case, like casing that spirit in the tree. And then it moved to Ireland from Africa and means brave, like Braveheart. And my last name comes from O'Brien, where Braveheart is based off of Brian Boru, the giant. That family was murdered when he was 14, just like I left home when I was 14 because my father got beaten so bad he lost functioning and he tried to kill me, and I went into government custody. My mom just gave me away, and I had to go through across Vermont to all these different, along this giant span, like this 300 miles of mountains. I traveled to all the different shelters and I met all the different people, and I've seen so much of this rich culture that I'm feeling it being raped away. I'm seeing it being lost, the light being lost from the eyes of these kids. And they're just focused on attacking and emotionally raping each other. And I'm talking to high schoolers about their experience in high school, and it's just, they want to dominate each other. They're not focused on school. They're focused on how soon can I get a gun so that I can assert myself over the next guy. It's gone back to tribal culture. It's like we're one missed meal away from these kids killing each other so that they can take all the women. It's crazy. I'm stuck a part of it, and I'm trying to get out, and I'm trying to save people. I could do it. I'm telling you, I could run an intentional community. I could build, if I got this property with this abandoned cabin that I built on, I could have 10 RVs there within 6 months, depending on how much money I have. Like I'd get a truck and go get free RVs. Get them, start getting nice people that I vetted before, put them in the RVs with the solar panels, and they would watch the chicken coop and they would breed the dogs. So I'd have people in place, like older people that are tired of the stress. Have them run my small businesses, legitimate businesses, not like drugs. Have them run my legitimate businesses that focus on bettering the state, like gyms, dogs, clothing companies, converting RVs into mobile greenhouses. I know how to do that. It's just, I got stuck so bad, so violently, that the only thing I could do was crawl through the woods with ticks on my back, depressed out of my mind, and then a bird built a nest next to me. And I talked to Vivek Swami about my problems. And I got up and raked. I dealt with my depression by getting up and raking in the seasonal of astrology Taurus, where the love is expressed through the earth sign, moving the earth. And it was probably like at the end of every season, I look back like it's the best year of my life, like the best time of my life. Even though it's so hard, I see life as a song. It's poetic. My only issue is that I'm meek. I'm humble. I have no way to get that money, or I would have had it. I was actively applying to jobs in December, and I had to spend the whole winter around overdosing heroin addicts when I finally was ready to work a job, when before I couldn't function enough that I had to suffer outside saving high schoolers from crackheads in Burlington, Vermont. And then I went from that to performing on stage my best songs, and I would put the headphones over these high schoolers with depression that were high on drugs, and they would go, "Oh my God," and they would freak out and they would cry because I put my heart and soul into this music. And I was about to release my hit single the first time, and that's right when the police got me the first time 2 years ago. Last time I tried to release my hit single, my computer just fried. All of a sudden it fried. And then I'm watching this Terrence Howard interview where he's about to explain like some secret of the universe that he felt would help a lot of people. This light emanating, and then, not to be whatever, and then their computer shut down the same way. So that's all I'm saying, is that at the micro level, help me get some place that I can escape this area, get like back on my feet and get around, so that I can at least start to create meaningful experiences and use my YouTube following that I'm building. I'm at 71 subscribers now, after I'm at 340 videos from the past 3 years talking about my life and going through it. It's just a lot of bitchy feminine complaining because of how emasculated I was from my trauma, you heard? But I went through it and I learned a lot. I'm tired. So I don't expect any help, but I'm praying that if anyone has anything that can help me on that mission, I hope that you can see how competent I could be, that I am. Help me get closer to that goal. I do have many people that would jump at the opportunity to get behind me to help me make something cool happen and make a change. It's just there's this slave mind you all know and hate. It's called social conditioning. And the way that I could beat it, honest to God, the way that I could beat it, from my own perspective, is if I had a stack of money right here. Maybe the test is that I have to learn how to convince people that this thing is so perfect without money that I have to get them to emotionally invest their resources. Because that's like one of the highest forms of competence in life, probably. Like that's a big test to be able to do. That's a big skill you need to learn, is how to be something worth emotionally investing in instead of selling products. But I also I have a Shopify store in my notes that I built that I don't have the money to create, which is I sit down and I go into Facebook groups and I find the off-grid living guys and I find the cheapest products that do the best work, reviewing products on Temu to find the best things to get, and then I set up a package for people to buy where it's an almanac of their state. It's a topic, all the maps of everything that you need, all the different plants that, couldn't you see me on Joe Rogan, bro? All the different plants that are edible and not edible, little packets of seeds that you can keep with you, just everything you would need if you were to step outside of your house knowing nothing about how to live in the outside world based on your area, and then have the tools necessary to use and a guidebook necessary to be able to do anything you want, that you could keep in a backpack, and then have a tent hanging here. And it would come with flavoring for the water that you drink out of the stream. That would be my little calling signature, is the Casey flavors, the Casey brand flavoring for the water. Because that's my favorite part of homelessness, was when I would finally get water and I'd go into Walmart or places and I would steal all the different drink mixes and I would mix together the different drinks, like when I was young and I'd make science experiments in my dad's house before we lost it, before it burned down mysteriously and then rich people stole it. Is I would mix different things, like when I make songs, I'm mixing different cultures together to make this the best feeling that I can create. And all the different bird sounds, and all the different elements, and all my different life experiences, mixing it all together to make something and do something perfect. So, my last tarot reading, the guy screamed at how overwhelming his vision was. The only reason I believe it is because I have the pattern recognition to see the thing that was coming through him to express itself to me was things I kept sacred. Little bits and pieces about my life, motifs that I kept sacred as like a foundation of my character, like the best moments. Little things that tied to those best moments came to him in a way that it unlocked myself. And then he said he saw spears going, and he saw chanting, and he saw it was biblical. So I could get on here and scream and tell you that the time is now. Or I could say, like, help me get a Baja Blast from the Taco Bell on the other side of the mountain. And then help me get a barbell so I can go out into the mountains and just work out and record YouTube videos with this guy's Ford Escape that he's offering me. But he's 3 hours away. He's offering to meet me an hour away. Hour and a half. And I could bring the barbell back and I could make this thing and just get the ball rolling at the micro level or at the macro level, save the entire world. But I'm practical about it. get some sunlight. Don't eat for the start of the day. Fast, so your body has a chance to go in and start cleaning itself. Drink fresh water. With or without flavoring, as long as it's the fresh water. To reawaken your gut fauna and flora, take in the probiotics from the store to stimulate what McDonald's and Doritos have, and just anything you get from the grocery store really has destroyed, so that you can stimulate your second brain. Your gut is more, whatever your brain does, your gut does twice as much. Your gut is it's a system. So by cutting off your gut, rest, do some push-ups, go for a walk, and if you feel like giving me $2 to $50 to $100, or call your grandpa and send him this video and say like, yo, this kid's really trying to make a change here, and it seems like he's really capable of doing it while the world is going crazy. And have him drop me a $500, and then it will all go into my account where I'll let people know exactly what I'm spending it on, and then when the event happens, everyone can come to it. Right? Like if we can make Vermont, or at least if we can get to, I know there's like once I'm in that spot, tons of YouTubers like Will Survives and Owen Cook, and I have like, honestly,